Hey, what's up, my dudes? Yo, Peacock can suck on my peacock, bro. That's all I got to say. Dude, I had to watch the race one day late. Kind of gets me a little bit twisted, dude. Gets me a little bit upset, right? But I did get to watch both of the main events. Didn't get to watch anything else. No heat races, nothing like that. But we had an interesting little moment in the For Fatty main event. Okay. And of course, you're going to get a lot of you jackasses out there that'll instantly come to that conclusion of, well, Spencer, this is exactly like the pass that Barsha just made on Anderson a couple rounds ago, right? This video, we're talking about Anderson making the takeout pass on Roczen. You know, instantly a lot of people are going to try to make this comparison to the takeout that Barsha made on Anderson earlier in a couple rounds ago there. And it's not the same thing at all. There's multiple differences to it. Obviously, Anderson is a little bit more of an aggressive rider. He's obviously no Bam Bam or anything like that. But this was not a situation of like Roczen passed Anderson and then Anderson made an instant retaliation move on him or anything like the Barsha situation was. The Barsha pass on Anderson wasn't like that at all. And it was in the sand. We have to remember, anytime there's a pass made in the sand, you just simply can't compare it the same way because bikes react differently in the sand. It's unpredictable. I just think, honestly, like, I can't really blame Roczen because he just stayed in it on that outside line. I mean, and I can't really blame Anderson because he just stayed in it on the inside line. I really feel like that was one of those situations where the lines just kind of came together right there in the sand. That was totally different than what Barsha did to Anderson, right? Anderson was clearly faster, passes Barsha, then he makes an instant retaliation in the very next corner, even though he's obviously slower, right? That was totally different than Anderson just simply being faster than Roczen and just making a quick pass in the sand. Probably forced the issue a little too much there, but it is what it is at the end of the day. That's just what I call racing right there. That situation between Anderson and Roczen, bruh. That's Supercross racing right there, bro. I really didn't see anything wrong with that. Now, obviously, Tomac got around Anderson because Anderson stood it up in the corner after he overjumped that little triple. Can I triple this right here? Speaking of triples, I think I can. I think I can, right? But it would have been like if when Tomac went around Anderson, right? I wouldn't say Tomac was clearly faster than Anderson, but I think he was just having a better night, you know? He's just on a better pace. So if it would have been the same comparison, like, you know, we keep talking about this Barsha when he took out Anderson, it would have been as if Tomac went around Anderson like he was standing still, basically, like he just clearly went around him. Let's say Anderson didn't even have that little mistake where he stood it up in the corner, but Tomac goes around him like he's standing still, and then Anderson just runs it in there in the very next corner as far inside as he possibly can. You know, that would have been comparable to the Barsha takeout on Anderson. But what happened between Anderson and Roczen, no, that wasn't the same thing. That was just simply not the same thing at all. So anyways, I just want to kind of clear that up, clarify that a little bit, because I know there's going to be a lot of people trying to point out this, like, hypocrisy or whatever. Like, Anderson is all... I mean, yeah, we know Anderson to be an aggressive rider. I never really thought of Anderson as being, like, overly aggressive or, like... I mean, maybe at times, but not, like... You know, Barsha's literally built up a career out of doing that to people, right? He's built up a brand, built up a name, built up... It's a different level, and every instance has its own little caveats and everything to it, you know, its own little circumstantial things to it that you can't compare one takeout to another. You know what I mean? Again, anytime you do anything in the sand, there's a lot of times where people just get tangled up in the sand, and it just is what it is. And that inside line did drift to the outside. I mean, I feel like the way it looked made it look a little bit worse, because it looked like Anderson just literally put Roczen on the ground, just put him in the dirt. Oh, man. I'm not going to lie, that was a little bit funny, but obviously Roczen's fine. It was in the sand. He'll be okay. Okay. But nonetheless, Anderson is riding. He's up there again, dude. In position to win every single main event this season so far. Anderson has without a doubt been the best rider. If you'd have took out that takeout that Barcia did on him and his bike steaming or smoking or, whatever that was, 420 Blaze It, took all that out, I mean, Anderson would have probably been in the points lead right now. But Tomac's starting to click him off. You guys know I got Tomac for the championship. I called that before the season even started. So it's looking pretty good for the old tea-sipping daddy out here, dude. Right? But yeah, I mean, definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about the Anderson-Roczen pass. I didn't really see. And it was for the lead. That's the other thing that was different about it than the Barcia passing or taking out Anderson a couple weeks back. That wasn't even for the lead. That was for like second place, which it's just different, Any pass that's made for any other position than first place, it has to be looked at slightly differently, especially towards the later stages of a race. I don't think the pass when Anderson kind of took out Roczen there, I don't think that was super late in the race, but still, it was for the lead. It was in the sand. Anderson literally probably thought he just had that pass made. I mean, I think that's what he actually thought. Anderson might have his timing off a little. Sometimes life feels like it's going in slow motion. You kind of get that effect sometimes in life. You know what I'm saying? It happens to some of us, sometimes. Sometimes that kind of happens a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, man. But, but I don't think it was anything to, like, lose your shit over or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not getting that kind of vibe from it. Obviously, sucks for Roczen because it really is going to put him back in the points. But it is what it is, man. That's just a dude that's going fast, trying to get in the front as quickly as he possibly can, and he runs it in there in the sand. I mean, did Anderson even go down? I think he didn't have what happened to Roczen to him, but I don't think he even went down in that situation, which I don't even think Barcia went down when he took out Anderson. I don't even know how much contact they made at that point either, but I have a lot more of a problem with when it's somebody that's obviously slower getting passed by a faster rider and they do that instant retaliation thing in the very next corner. I have a lot bigger of a problem with that than I do just like somebody clearly being faster and then they just run it in there pretty aggressive and take the guy out right away. I don't know. I mean, I look at somebody that's slower retaliating instantly in the next corner after they get passed clean a lot worse than like what Anderson did to Roczen. I don't see it the same way, especially it being in the sand section for first place. I mean, you know what I mean? And it wasn't in no bowl corner either. It wasn't in a full 180 corner where, Anderson just went super up the inside. He was literally just hitting the inside line in the sand. He wasn't like super cutting off the tough blocks to super T-bone somebody. That was just kind of how that sand section worked. And I mean, for the lead of a 450 main event, if you're in first place and you take the outside line somewhere, I hate to say it, but you got to just expect that right there, homie. Especially in a corner like that. That's like, it's different like in a 180 corner where they're trying to hit like a really bigger rhythm out of the next corner. Then it becomes obviously dudes are going to go more outside so that it's not like creating a danger risk because they don't even hit the normal jump in rhythm. But I mean, I just don't see it being that bad of a thing. Obviously, Roczen's crew and fans are going to be probably upset about that, but it is what it is. Roczen will live another day. I think he got back up to almost a top 10 or something, so he'll be all right. We still got a lot of racing in the 450 class. But boy, oh boy, it's looking like Anderson and Tomac, dude. I mean, Sexton was right there as well, but it's just, yeah. I mean, at the stage of Roczen's career, I feel like he should know better than just taking an outside line in the sand like that in the front. Maybe he just didn't realize how fast Anderson was getting up to him or something, you know. A lot of stuff could have went down there, but Anderson is riding way better than I think any of us expected him to ride. Tomac finally got the win on the Yami. Tomac's got the points lead. He's looking really good as well. I don't know why I keep letting off the gas in that corner. Spency boy kind of falling asleep here a little bit. Okay. All right. But yeah, either way, I don't think, and to be fair, I don't think AMA should have got involved in the Barcia takeout or this takeout right here. But I think the Barcia takeout was a little more like silly, a little more not really 450 race etiquette, a little more kind of, I don't know. Whereas I feel like Anderson's deal with Roczen here was a little more just of a racing situation where Roczen goes outside in a sand section where both of the lines come together, and that's just what it is. Like, Anderson's obviously going to take that inside sand rut right there, like, and it is what it is. I mean, he's not going to let off the gas, and that line naturally flowed to the outside right there. So it's not really like Anderson could have stayed way more up the inside to give Roczen a bunch of room or anything. That's just where the line went, you know? That's completely different than like where Barcia, see, he cut so far inside in that 180 corner to take out Anderson, it wasn't even like, people weren't even really going there normally, whereas I feel like in the sand, dudes were taking that inside or that outside. So you can't really blame Anderson, but also you can't really blame Roczen either for going outside. I mean, you can, but it's, you know, I can understand being out front of that 450 main event. Maybe the outside was faster and Roczen was just trying to hit it. He didn't realize Anderson was that close to it, whatever the case may be, you know. But I don't think this was anything to lose your beans about or whatever. Think, oh my God, look at that. Now Anderson's taking people out just like Barcia. Not really the same thing. So either way, I mean, yeah, that was the end result, but kind of a different situation. You know what I mean, bro? But either way, dudes, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. See you boys on that next one. Later, dudes.